there is is it streaming? There
Yeah.
is something there is something to be said about enjoying playoff baseball as a neutral. You know what I mean? You can kind of just sit back and go, "Wow, that was a really cool play. Wow, look at that. Wow, that was crazy." It's days like today where you're just like, it's not the same. I'd rather be having a heart attack right now watching you know who play in the you know what right now. It's
Yeah,
no
we
question.
don't have to. We don't have to say their name. Yeah, I've been feeling it. Even during the doubleheader Monday between the Braves and Mets, it was like, God, I wish that were me.
I wish that were me hyperventilating with every single
Yeah.
pitch.
Oh my God. And like, what catching the end of the Tigers Astros game too earlier today as we record this on Tuesday. That ninth inning, I thought for sure the Astros were pulling it out. I'm like, they do it every time, but
Yeah, I was watching that like this is the most obvious come from behind win here. You know, bullpen starting to
but
falter a little bit after blowing a great start from the Cy Young Award winner.
but the Tigers, man, they held on. They're
Motor City
exciting.
Kitty babies. Or Motor
Yeah.
City Kitties baby, I should say. But no, it just, first of all, as my laptop falls backwards, my old ass laptop, welcome to Pot on Lansdowne. We are joined by Pure Mid, aka Liam. I am Nick Green, aka Fitz. Glad to have you as always. No Jake again this week. We want to first of all send our thoughts to Jake and all of his loved ones going through what could be put as a motherfucker of a time right now. Losing a loved one is awful. Jake will be back in the fold soon enough, but he's got to take some time to be with the fam right now. But we're happy.
We miss him. We
Of
miss
course.
him. I miss you, buddy.
Awesome.
If you're listening, I miss you. We love you, and
We
we
love
miss
him
you.
too. I mean, we talked to him in the group chat too. We've been
Yeah, I know.
we've
I don't
been
know if he'll actually listen, but
yeah, right. Again, bigger fish to fry going on right now. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
talk about us talking about a team that is not in the playoffs. But even if you're listening right now, dear listener, we appreciate you for being around for this edition of the program. The first episode of the 2024-25 offseason for the Boston Red Sox officially. We've been saying for weeks that it's over. It really is actually over now. And again, watching this playoff baseball unfold, it's been a very solid day, very strong day, first day of the postseason, which I think we needed a little bit. I don't know about how you feel, but we need a good postseason here. I feel like last year was a bit lackluster at times. You know, it
I
it
mean,
always has its
I
moments,
hardly,
but
I remember game one of the World Series, and that's about it. I remember some of the ALCS. I don't know. I mean, it's also different when you're neutral. Like God, I totally checked out of the World Series after we got bounced in 21. The 22 playoffs, I don't know. The Phillies run was fun, but I remember nothing of that World Series outside of the combined no hitter. And yeah, last year just kind of another dud, so to speak.
yeah, but if you were in it, you'd be able to say like, oh, what happened in the bottom of the fourth with one out? You'd say, oh, dude, like if it was 21, Hunter Renfroe grounded into another double play. Like you'd be able to
the
recite
millionth double play of the ALCS. Yeah, exactly.
right?
I mean, I'd be so locked in. But
and you know, it's like similar to like that Patriots Super Bowl 5 years ago, and 5 years, crazy to say that was 5 years ago now. It's coming on 6. That second Rams one, the 13-3 game. Anyone who was neutral was like, well, the Patriots won again, so this sucks. But yeah, 16 combined points between the two teams. This is awful. But I was like, disagree. No, this is a blast.
who cares?
So
Yeah.
I just want to be back in it, man. Well, obviously, I want more than that because I'm selfish, but there is. It sounds so cliche, but there is nothing like playoff baseball when you're in the when you're in the thick of it, when you're involved, when you've got skin in the game, man.
Yeah,
It feels like you're gonna die for 3 consecutive hours.
It was fun to be delusional for that short spell when they were in Toronto and all of a sudden ripped off 4 straight wins. Yeah, I miss it. I really do. It's just like I don't know. I was at the game Sunday. If we just want to start the postmortem,
Yeah, let's
and
just rip the Band-Aid off.
yeah, and I mean I will say obviously it sucks because I don't know. We spend 6 months tuning in every night, watching this team for better or worse, and I mean, I always miss him at the end, but it felt like it feels like a season. Obviously, we took some big steps forward again, but God, there were so many blown opportunities. Like this team had a chance to be in the dance, but they just kept shooting themselves in the foot in the second half. I think that's frustrating, but I also think if I want to look at it from the lens of a front office exec, like our window's really not open until 26. Let's be honest. Once the big four come up and are acclimated, and I will say, like as the game was kind of winding down Sunday, I felt hopeful, and even Cora said post game like this will be our last struggle.
I did want to bring up that line because that's what he said during the end of season press conference.
Yeah, it was
Monday.
The end of season presser. And I did kind of like understand that sentiment because I was kind of feeling that Sunday. I was like, it's nice to end the season with a win first and foremost.
Right at 81-81, baby.
Yeah, and it was like the weather was perfect. The crowd was great on Sunday. Everybody stuck around. Obviously, they had the Castiglione pregame ceremony, which was amazing. So I don't know. I mean, it felt like a special day. Obviously, the season as a whole, you're disappointed, but I don't know. It's baseball. I got to take something good out of it because then what's the point? That's my spiel, I guess.
Sure. I'll put the one thing I'll kind of push back on a little bit of what you said. Not totally disagreeing with you. I think they really
embrace debate.
A little embrace debate. The window needs to open next year. I understand.
Oh, 100%.
Like you talk about, okay, 26 is when it really starts cooking, and yeah, you want to be right in the thick of it at that point. But again, I'll reiterate what I said last week. They have to make the postseason next year. That has to be the tangible goal that has to be achieved, or else it's going to be a problem. I will say, obviously disappointing. I mean, Jesus, go back and listen to any of the 12 fucking episodes of this podcast that has preceded this one, and I'm sure you'll find some. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, essentially since the All-Star break, how much disappointment. Take a drink every time we say, that was a missed opportunity or that was a blown opportunity. To end on a win, to end with a better record than 78-84. I understand that's not the bar you're supposed to hit. It's nice that, again, we've made those strides, but in a different way, it's nice that we're sitting here disappointed by saying like, oh man, like with all these missed opportunities. I mean, in 22 and 23, yeah, there were certainly games where like that easily should have been a win. That easily should have been a win. But even only if a couple of those turn over, you're one or two games above 500. That's still not enough to get you into the dance. Not
helpful.
Right? How many wins did
whereas with this team, it's like 17 blown saves in the second half.
Yeah.
But what? They were 13 for 31 in save opportunities in the second half. Like that's really what it comes down to. I know the offense was inconsistent in the second half and they'd kind of fall off the map, and obviously Devers with the shoulder kind of disappeared in the second half. Yeah, it really did come down to the bullpen. Plain and simple.
And that's the episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for a great season.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
What I guess what I'm trying to say here, I don't know if I'm putting it as poetically as I could. Barring the 22 and 23 teams breaching like their 100th percentile expected outcome, like a once in a 2013 ass year where everything breaks right for the most part,
where you improved by like 30 games, like the Royals this year, basically.
Right, a miracle Mets season. 22 and 23 were never going to be playoff teams unless they had that sort of a run. It's like 21. You got in on the last day. You were lucky, and you had a deep run. Right.
It's like,
but with 22 and 23, I don't think there was any realistic world for the most part where they would be a playoff team. 24 is not the case, and I think that's what bothers me the most, and that's what is one of the top thoughts I have going into the offseason. Because it was right there. How many wins did the Tigers end up with? 86?
Let me look at the final standings. I'll tell you, once we got bounced, I stopped scoreboard watching.
So yeah, I'm guessing, right? I don't have it in front of me. I'm not. That's not a rhetorical question I just asked.
Tigers finished with 86.
So there you go, and we're at 81. So
Yeah.
you mentioned 17 blown saves in the second half.
Even if it's like, I don't know, you still blow like 12 of them, you're still tied. 86
You're
wins
tied,
with the
right?
Tigers.
Exactly. Right? You can as I'm a stuttering prick, you only blow 10 of them. Yeah, you're probably in there. You know, it just because
I will tell you, 25. Slayton's the key to all of this. As
Yes,
George
yeah,
Lucas
we have
would
said
say.
that. Yeah, that's the sneaky guy, the sneaky link who might be the other
Jar Jar Slayton.
He's a Jar Jar Slayton. He's a humble closer. Okie day. Closing out the Boon to Eve Classic instead of the Fall Classic. But no, it's just, I think that makes it more frustrating. But at the end of the day, that does show it's a sliver, it's a crumb of progress, and that shouldn't be taken like, oh my God, thank you for the one crumble of progress, Fenway Sports Group. Thank you for the 3-game improvement to get up to the 500 level. That's not what I'm saying. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But the fact that we're sitting here and be like, man, this realistically could have been a playoff team before the prospects come up and make an impact. Before, again, I feel like I'm Charlie Brown about to kick the football, but before potentially marquee free agents are signed, I'm not holding my breath on that, but that would supplement the team that realistically could have made the playoffs had they not, slipped on 500 banana peels. So it's mixed feelings going into the offseason. Again, credit where it's due. There, like you had mentioned, there were positives to take away from it. Again, the emergence of Jarren Duran as a legit all MLB type of player.
Duran, Bayo and Crawford all starting 30 games. Like that's massive.
And finished, on the rotation stumbled for the most part in the second half, but I think they ended.
It would have been tough. I mean, their first half was.
Oh, I'm not even saying
April
match the
May
first half.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not even saying match that level, but it was, it left a lot to be desired. But they were able to, I don't want to say stick the landing, but they were able to recover a bit and be like, okay, let's regather. Let's talk about this over the offseason and hit the ground running in 25. So that was something to take away from Devers when he was healthy for the most part. He ended up putting up a quality campaign at the dish. His health is a question going forward. I'm sure we'll be talking about it on this program. So while those positives are there, I'm frustrated, but in a weird sense, almost kind of thankful that I'm back to being frustrated to saying like, well, you could have made the playoffs. 22 and 23 was just straight up frustration that the team was just not on the level of quality that we want. And they're still not there yet, but they're closer, and they're at a level where you could say they could realistically make the postseason. I don't think I would have been able to say that at the end of 22 or 23. Now, please don't go back and listen to any of our episodes at the end of 22 and 23 where I said that. I think the 2022 Red Sox should have made the playoffs. I'm saying
someone's going to pull the tape.
Yeah, right. I'm going to get dunked on for that, but
I've got the documents right here.
I got the documents right here to prove it. I don't know if that sentiment makes any sense or not, but I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
No, I mean, I get it. I think at the same time, I feel like the state the fan base is in is very much the same state the Red Sox are in. We're just in the middle, man. I'm like, I went into this season with zero expectations. I thought, quite honestly, they might even end up being worse than the 22 and 23 teams because there were so many question marks with the rotation. Is Jarren Duran real? How's the outfield going to shake out? Is Seti going to be able to stick? Is Abreu the real deal? Like there were so many questions, thankfully, that we did get answered this year. So I don't know. At the end of the day, obviously, I'm not happy with 81 and 81. I would rather we were sitting here doing a live stream of like a Red Sox playoff game instead of rehashing the season. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I got to be not necessarily like distance myself, but look at it from a larger perspective.
A
Obviously,
macro perspective.
the first, at least for the first week, as I process what just transpired over the last 6 months. I don't want to be like, I mean, so many people are just ready to disregard any plans they have this offseason. I'm like, guys, it's been 48 hours as we sit here. Like, just enjoy October, enjoy the playoffs. Obviously, I wish we were there. But there'll be plenty of free agents talk, trade talk come November. But as it stands, the foundation is there. And I think we saw it this year very clearly. If you had obviously there's still so many ifs. Like if Trevor doesn't go down in the first week, if Tristan doesn't break a rib in April, like maybe those blown saves are cut in half because the offense put up some more runs.
Or they have an extra arm in there to, be able to weather the storm,
Yeah, and I mean,
or some better defense,
Yeah, exactly. Like
people are going to bemoan the fact that they didn't add enough at the deadline, but yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. Okay, that I mean, hindsight's 2020. Yes, they went out and actually made some moves at the deadline. Were they the big splash everybody wanted? No, obviously not. And
no, but at the time I was like, okay, they're trying to boost the bullpen a bit, which I appreciated.
Yeah, which was helpful. And you were like, okay, but it didn't work out. Okay, what are you going to do? They didn't give up anything big. They gave up guys they would have lost this offseason anyway.
So Rule 5 anyways, yeah.
So at the end of the day, I chalk it up. You tried. You didn't sacrifice the future for it. We move on. Luis Garcia, I'll remember you forever.
I honestly forgot his first name. I had to take a second. It's Luis, right?
Yeah.
Jesus God. And again, it's
Lucas Sims, Johan Ramirez. We'll miss you all. Happy
the process
trails.
of actually trying to go out and get relievers there made sense. I'm sure that's exactly what I said on this podcast. Again, don't go look it up and prove me wrong. You're just gonna have to take my
somebody
word
pull the
for it.
tapes. Somebody pull them.
The receipts. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It just on a macro sense, but it's still going to be frustrating. And I think I'm just trying to brace myself to be disappointed this offseason just because that's what I've been conditioned to feel like over the last couple of years. I try to keep things optimistic on this program, Fantasy, for the most part. I really think I do. And if they go out and remind people that, hey, we're the Boston Red Sox and we have, this war chest of resources to boost our big club, then sign me up. I'm all about it. And I just am preparing for Sean Manaea to be the opening day starter.
Yeah, Sean Manaea, Andrew Heaney.
Hey, Manaea had a good year though.
He did.
To Manaea's credit. Hey, he's on a postseason
he's in the playoffs.
team.
He's in the playoffs. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't have any large expectations that they go out and throw a David Price-like contract out at Burns or Fried, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there is a chance.
I'd like it.
There's plenty of time. There's plenty of time to talk about that this winter.
It makes you got so many guys who are going to be under team control for the foreseeable future, especially if I mean, it would be a raise for Costas if you extended him, but you could get him under a controllable wage, and lock him for the not even beyond the foreseeable future, very long time. But again, those are all specific conversations that we can have in time. Right now, the conversation I want to have very quickly before we head to break, the Strauss ads on the helmets look even worse than I could have possibly imagined. That sucks so much shit. Strauss.
Yeah,
I'm not going to buy your fucking work
it.
pants or whatever they are just because.
Is that what they are? They're just like a.
I think so.
Like
some
uniform.
I don't fucking know, and I don't care. Out of principle, I don't want to get any Strauss clothing.
Company. High performing workwear.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, just because you're on Matt Olson's batting helmet and I have Matt Olson on a dynasty team, that doesn't mean I'm going to buy your fucking pants.
Don't worry. They're also the official global partner of Liverpool Football Club.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Who you guys got tomorrow in the Champions League?
Is
it Milan?
Someone from Italy. No, we played Milan. 2 weeks ago? It's another Italian team. I gotta look it up though. But yeah, I know I hate it. I don't understand.
Friend of the
Obviously, they want
program,
some
UMass
extra-
guy, Nathan Strauss, fellow Arsenal
Yeah.
fan, Nathan Strauss. He's gonna. I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind right here, right now. Nathan, pull some Strauss, or pull some strings on the Strauss family, I should say. End this madness, okay?
It's terrible. I didn't realize it was on the helmets in London this past summer.
Yeah, it sucks shit.
Yeah, it's bad. I don't like it. I mean, I hate to be like a boomer about ads on jerseys when
But it's the
I tune into the Premier
enshittification of
League every
baseball
week.
aesthetics. The aesthetic, it's a fucking Quikrete patch for the Braves on that. And
Yeah, it stinks.
I'm not trying to think about fucking Quikrete right now. I'm trying to watch some ball. Nice pitch from King.
I don't know. Hey, at the very least, in other uniform news, All-Star game, baby. We get to wear the home and aways again.
Massive news. Yes,
We won.
Thank God.
We won. Mission accomplished. We have
won.
caught.
Well, not to be cynical again. I try to be optimistic, but you know why they decided to bring it back. It's not out of the goodness of their heart. None of these things are out of the goodness of their heart.
Absolutely
It's because the patches are already there. So it's, you know what I mean? So it's just one big commercial, man. It's not because, oh, we love the aesthetic of it so much. They might say that in like a press release. It's, come on. It's because Mass Mutual wants that All-Star game ad revenue.
I am actually curious if they'll just sign a
blanket
jersey sponsor
for that game
for the whole league for the whole league. And
yeah,
then put
everyone
it on
has
the All-Star
AT&T or
jerseys.
something like that. Yeah,
Strauss on their
Strauss.
sleeves.
Yeah, fuck. Then I'm really gonna yell at Nathan Strauss for that one. So, in any event, do we want to take a quick break?
Yeah, I think that works. I was
Yeah,
going to say something, but I forgot, so it's okay.
You had to think about it if you wanted to take.
Yeah,
a quick
maybe
break.
it'll come back to me when we come back. We'll see.
I got something to talk about. Got a couple of things, but we'll talk about it after the break. We'll be right back. Are you proud of me for not mentioning the fact that Arsenal won their Champions League game today against Paris Saint-Germain?
Oh, who'd they play? Oh,
PSG.
PSG. Hell yeah.
At the Emirates, but yeah, we won 2-0.
Nice.
What was it? Trossard had a cross into the middle. Havertz headed it in, and then Bukayo from a free kick from pretty far outside the box at an angle. I think it just kind of got through, and he still
Oh
was
my
able to
God!
get it in.
What that goal? I was watching. It's the first half of the Tottenham game on. Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, the run from
Yeah,
Van
yeah. It was unreal, man. Like made my jaw
Yeah.
drop.
My buddy who's a Spurs fan goes, Van de Ven's the best center back in the world, and I'm not joking. And I was
It
like,
was
okay.
crazy.
I was like,
it was
hold
like
on now.
it was the last thing I saw before I went into the ballpark.
It was a great run.
Yeah.
It was an amazing run, but I was like, okay, William Saliba still exists, dude. Okay, let's take a chill pill. But AJ Smith Schwaber. I love that the Padres went back to the pea and poo colors. I'll say that every time. Hi, whoever's watching. All right, let's get ready.
It's such bullshit. The Braves always just pull out some young starter out their ass every year.
If only it could be me. Okay. We're back. Pawn on Lansdowne. Liam and Fitz here. Wrapping up the 2024 regular season. Kind of in a macro sense. I mean, I'm sure we can get into some more specifics as the winter continues. We're going to have a lot to talk about. I don't know if it's going to be on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. Bi-weekly is every other week, right? Yeah, because you get paid bi-weekly. You get paid every other week.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
So I don't know if this is going to be a weekly or bi-weekly sort of thing. Probably like once the actual baseball season wraps up, once the World Series is over, then we'll transition to probably every other week through the holidays. And then
Yeah, that makes sense.
start of January, we might pick it back up with
Unless we
once a
need
week.
Unless we need an emergency pod at some point.
Yeah, if
like during
we
the winter
trade-
meetings.
If we trade for Shohei Ohtani, we'll be able to. I'd say that warrants an emergency. Casas extension. That's an emergency episode. I'd say.
Yeah,
Big piece
that's
of-
true.
When we announce the signings of Burns and Fried, like the signings of Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, the announcement
simultaneously.
I actually don't think they announced those. They did the press conference at the same time. For those
Yeah,
two.
I don't know. They must have been within like 72 hours of one another, though, right?
You catch my drift. We'll be there for you. We're not going anywhere just because the Red Sox season is over. It just may not be on a as frequent of a basis. But if you want to follow us all the time on the Bird app on Twitter, you most certainly can. We are always there. We're born and raised on those streets. We're not leaving anytime soon. At Pod on Lansdowne is the show. I am at Fitzy Mopena. Liam is at LiamFantasy_. Jake is at Jake Wallinger. Do we want to go back and talk about that press conference to end the year featuring Cora, Sam Kennedy, and Craig Breslow? Because a couple of thoughts based off that. Fernando! Home run, by the way. Fernando! It's my boy.
I'm sure we were going to talk about this by the end of the episode, but I think it's the Padres' year, man. I really do.
I'd love that. I'd be cool with that.
The second half was unreal.
Listen, I've always.
It'll break my heart to see Bogey get a ring with someone else, but they might. It just might be their year.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna win it, if it's gonna be any time, it feels like it'd be now. I know that sounds cliche, but like they're playing hot. They gave the Dodgers a run for their money in that division. The Dodgers are not making it out of the National League. I can tell you that much right now.
Nah, zero pitching. Fitz, you're starting game one.
That's a Jake joke. That's one that Jake. They got Fitzy Mopena starting. It's over. But anyways, the end of the season press conference.
In any event.
Between the, I'd say the brass of the Boston Red Sox, but there were two notable people who weren't there. One of them, his name starts with a J and it ends in an On Henry. The other being his boy Tommy.
The steel driving man.
Yeah, John Henry is a steel driving man. First things first. If I had a nickel for every time that Craig Breslow said that they're going to keep their options open, I'd have probably 45 nickels.
Listen, I tuned in yesterday because it's my civic duty. And not that I expected anything, because it's like, I mean, the season hadn't even been over for 24 hours. What the hell are they really going to tell us? There's not going to be anything of substance. But it par for the course. Same from Sam Kennedy. Same from Cora. Like you said, same from Craig. Just boilerplate nothingness. I don't know. By the time they started talking about like the Celtics within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, all right, this is a joke. I'm out. not that I like turned it off, but I'm like, all right.
This could have been an email.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't need to be locked in for this. And I'm sure we're gonna hear from them again sometime soon. I imagine you'll start to see Breslow hit the media rounds in November and December. I would expect to see Cora maybe get some interviews, but I don't know. I feel like I feel like we'll mostly hear from Breslow and Kennedy the rest of the winter.
Yeah, I imagine Cora and like the coaching staff, they probably just want to go back, like
just like
veg out,
get ready. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I really don't have that much to say about it because they didn't say much.
I had a couple of things, yeah, and one of them was the fact that there was not much to be said. I understand. I understand that. They're not going to say, "Oh, we're going to be in on these." They don't want to sabotage their own leverage in negotiations and whatnot. And I forget if it was Kennedy or Breslow specifically said that's kind of been our organizational thing. How you feel about that?
I hate that, actually.
Yeah. So you do have something to say. I was able to pry it out of you. Yeah.
Just in regards to like they don't want to tip their hand. Guys, we're not splitting the atom here. We're not racing the Nazis. It's okay. It's okay.
Breslow comes in with the Bobby Oppie, hat and the high pants. He's got the marbles. He's putting it in to the fishbowl or whatever it is.
Poor Rule 5 guys today, boys.
The Yankees, they took a wrong turn. We're ahead of them.
But no, seriously, it's like just coming out and saying, yeah, we need an elite reliever. We need a front end of the rotation starter, and we need a right-handed hitting power bat. Like, there's nothing wrong with coming out and saying that. The fact that they act so like coy, they did this last winter too. I'm like, guys, everybody knows what we need. I don't think you're really gaining any leverage by being like, oh no, we're just keeping our options open. Like, guys, it doesn't.
Boris is gonna hold him over the coals and saying like, "Oh, you said you needed pitching." Ooh,
yeah. I mean, come on. It's the first day the season's over, and I don't know, guys. It's not the Manhattan Project. That's all I'll say. That was the point I had to make. I was like, it's just so ridiculous to me.
The world will remember this day when they signed Manaea.
Until somebody signs a bigger pitcher.
I'm due for a Bobby Oppie rewatch. I think that's my one takeaway from this entire season of Red Sox baseball. I got to watch Bobby Oppie again. But yeah, I mean, Breslow is going to keep things open. Like, oh, we're going to take all of this into account, and it's a lot of the same beats that we've heard from the past. Like you had just said, they said the same stuff last year because it's a lot of the same beats. So I don't blame anyone if they listen to that and don't feel any invigoration. I don't even know if that's a word, but if they don't feel like any excitement, like, oh, for the more pessimistic Red Sox fan, you're not satisfied with any of that in the press conference, right? It's like, well, that's the same song and dance. I will say, I found it funny that Sam Kennedy, Smithers himself, I wish I had the quote verbatim, and I can try to find the quote verbatim.
Is this one where he was like, yeah, that was on us? Like,
yeah, when he said, yeah, ownership wasn't present, and that's on us. And it's funny to me because wasn't he the same guy who at the start of the year was so adamant that the ownership group actually does care? That we actually really do care, and you're stupid and foolish. I forget what exactly. He didn't call us stupid. But
he said you're a liar.
You're a liar if you say that we don't care. That was what, February, January, like spring training, winter weekend. It was around that time.
He said, you're wrong, you're a liar, and I'll correct you on it because it's total BS. Red Sox CEO Sam Kennedy. To those who doubt commitment to winning.
Okay, so doubt commitment to winning. And just to do justice by it, I don't want to put words in his mouth. Do we have the verbatim of what he said Monday? What he was asked? Let's hear it.
So, I mean, I haven't read this article in full, and also it's a NESN article, so take it with a grain of salt if there's anything.
State-sponsored media?
Yeah, exactly.
The North Korean TV channel saying, like, Kim Jong-un shot a perfect 18 at the Masters today.
At Fenway Sports Group.
Yeah.
So, okay, here it is. In that sentiment, the team's president and CEO believes Red Sox ownership needs to do more to help the ball club and failed to do so in recent years. No, we're not there, Kennedy told reporters at Fenway Park. That's on us. You can phrase it any way you want. When you fall short of your expectations, you can always do more. We feel that obligation and that responsibility each and every year. There was a feeling this year, particularly yesterday in the ballpark, that we don't want this to end. Kennedy continued, in a lot of ways, in a season of what could have been, we need to do more. We need to be better in every aspect within our ownership group, within the front office. We're not here to be having press conferences on September 30th or October 1st. We're here to be talking about postseason play. That's what we got to get back to. End quote.
Another movie reference. Brad Pitt going blah, 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 blah.
Guys, you're just talking. You're just talking.
Again, it's 6 months ago or 7-8 months ago. It's like, oh, we're so committed. You're a liar if you say that you're not committed. Then at the end of not even 24 hours, like you just said, they're like, yeah, we're not present enough. That's on us. So. I don't know. I just kind of found that funny. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe that's too sports talk radio-y of me. Maybe I'm getting too much into my Felger and Maz bag. Who's to say?
No, I think that's fair. I also think he kind of had to come out. He kind of has to come out and like set the tone for the offseason day one.
Sure.
And will he live up to these quotes? Will Fenway Sports live up to these quotes? That remains to be seen. But I do give him credit for saying it point blank.
I will. Yeah. In all honesty,
especially on day one.
Yeah. In all honesty, yeah. No, riffs aside, like, okay, that's a step towards taking that accountability, because you're not going to be able to fake it. And again, not to sound fucking sports talk radio-y and whatnot, but you're not going to be able to fake it like that in a market. And we'll talk about getting away with shit in a market in a second. Don't you worry, a market like this. So yeah, it's nice to take that step. I do agree genuinely. But that's also the bitch of it, right? You've got to be able to walk the walk here. You can talk the talk all you want. You can say, oh, we've got to be better. We want to do right by our fans. We don't want this to end. We want postseason baseball. Those are all well and good things to say. Even after a disappointing end to the season that saw some positive developments, but again, saw you fall short of not even the ultimate goal, just like a benchmark, a goal to hit in this era of Red Sox baseball, just making the postseason again. To say all of that is very nice, but again, the more pessimistic Red Sox fan, I wouldn't blame them for not taking any stock to it and saying, okay, well, show me, don't tell me about how you want to improve the team. Like, let's actually, and I'm not saying overspend for everybody under the moon and the stars, you know what I mean? But you want to go about it smartly, but there are obvious ways to improve this team and to raise the ceiling of this team. I just want to see them make those steps instead of sitting there in the press conference room talking about how they want to make it, how they want to improve the team. I actually want to see it. So, yeah, maybe a good enough of a step to, take, I almost said take ownership. I didn't want to have a pun intended, not intended situation there, but to take accountability of that. But let's actually see it in motion. But in addition to that, I also thought it was funny that, months ago he was like, we actually care a lot. You're crazy if you don't think we care that much. And then he goes on to say, okay, maybe we kind of don't care a little bit. Yeah. Maybe we didn't care.
You got us. You got us.
You got me.
Continuing to look at this from a macro lens, as you put it, Fitz. 5 of the last 6 years, no playoffs. The 1 year you got in on the last day. What are we doing? What are we doing here? I mean, I remember back in my day, Fitz.
When we were strong.
When we were strong, Theo came out one winter and said, yeah, this is a bridge year. You would have thought the city was going to burn down, and they still won 89 games. And then that winter, they went out and got Adrian Gonzalez and Carl Crawford.
Yeah, that was 2010.
Did it end up working out? No.
Well, the bridge year was 2010, just to be clear. Yeah.
Yes, correct. The bridge year was 2010, the infamous bridge year, which I loved that team, quite honestly. But you saw them. They missed the playoffs, 89 wins. Still not that bad. Obviously, in this day and age, you're in with 89 wins.
Sure.
The game was different. But they went out and put their nuts on the table the following winter. So can they do that this year? I don't know. This was 15 years ago. Like, makes me feel old as shit, but I don't know. It's just I don't like how far we've fallen. And I think Section 10 was talking about this. I saw a clip on social. We're basically like the younger Red Sox fans right now, like they're not expecting any big splashes. It's been 6 years. It's been 6 years now where the biggest contract you've handed out is Trevor Story. Devers, disclaimer, that's the bare minimum.
Yeah,
I don't count that one.
Bringing someone in, giving someone a bag to come in,
yes,
not someone who was
to come here.
Right, and you're talking about the bare minimum extending your franchise player. Yeah,
where it's like, what have you given us?
But even then, they don't necessarily always get that right. They don't always give the bag
They don't. Quite honestly, it really more often than not, it has not worked out. At least in recent memory. So
See Betts,
Yeah, I don't know.
Mookie, Lester, John. You know.
So I don't know. I don't know if they still got that dog in them to go out and have an offseason of Lackey and Beltre or Gonzalez and Crawford or Hanley and Pablo.
Yeah.
Like or Price and Kimbrel.
I hate to make things. I guess this wouldn't be binary. This would be three options. I guess what I'm trying to say. But I hate to be as black and white on this show. I try to put some nuance in these things as much as possible. But as we stand here, are you more confident that they're going to put no nuts on the table, a single nut on the table, or both nuts on the table this offseason, Mr. Fennessy? How many nuts on the table are we looking at here? Somewhere between 0 and 1. I want to say 2.
I have no faith that they'll put 2 on the table. My heart says they'll put 1 nut on the table. My head says they put 0 on the table.
Yeah. Maybe like one of the nuts kind of just hangs on like the edge of, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's just like a half.
You know, in paper football, nut. Like that touchdown there, like it hangs off the edge of the table. That's the nut.
Yes, that's the nut we're gonna get this winter. I don't know. It's also I know I'm gonna backtrack on basically everything I just said. Obviously, the teams we've been looking at for the past 6 years are not the team we were looking at in 2010 and 2011. Like obviously that core was there, that core was established. It was win now mode. And obviously by the time 2019 rolled around, there was no farm system. You had basically been riding on Theo's draft picks for the entire 2010s. JBJ, Mookie, Xander, they signed Xander. I can't remember. Devers may have been a Charrington signing, and that feels right. But for the most part, it was like, okay, now the farm system's dried up. What do we do? Now the farm system's back. Okay, maybe we can actually remember who we are.
And they can plug in other holes with those younger pieces down the line. You have the right-handed hitting infielder, whether it's a Vaughn Grissom or Christian Campbell, right? You've got those pieces in the outfield. You've got a plethora of outfielders to choose from going forward. You have Meyer, you have Teal. So maybe if you are taking, I keep talking about what the pessimistic Red Sox fan might say, the optimistic Red Sox fan might say, and echo your point, okay, those time, the spree of spending leading into 2011, it was with a different look team, sure, like you had just said that the core is already established, but the team going into 25, as it currently stands right here, October 1st or October 2nd as you're listening to this, unless some crazy trade happens in the next 12 hours, which I don't even know if trading's allowed right now in Major League Baseball at the playoffs. I don't think it is. I don't think anyone can trade. But as it stands right here, right now, as we begin the offseason, I think the organization's at a different spot than it was going into 22 and 23. Roman Anthony was, he was high on our lists leading into last season. He was like a top 20 prospect in baseball. He wasn't the top 1 prospect in baseball, Campbell emerges.
Campbell had
progression.
All of the accolades.
Right?
Filled his trophy case this year.
This is a different look organization going into this offseason than it did in the previous 2. And we were pissed during the previous 2 when the spending wasn't there or the big trade wasn't there to supplement the major league team. Maybe, just taking the pessimistic look at it, maybe because the organization says, hey, we have all these other assets, especially among the position players, the position player pool. Maybe because we have that now in their under team control for the most part for quite some time, maybe now is the time that we strike. We dare to dip our toes in the David Price waters again, right?
Dare to be different, John Henry.
Or they make their deal. They get their Logan Webb or Logan Gilbert or George Kirby, whoever it is, right? Garrett Crochet. I don't know who it's going to be, or if it's going to be anyone in the first place. But if you're trying to find a optimistic angle, I think that would be one of them. That, okay, the organization's definitely in a different place now than it was even 12 or 24 months ago.
I gotta agree.
Well,
I'll
thank you.
take it. Listen. I'll take it all back if all of a sudden next year's the start of some second golden age of Red Sox
Start of
baseball.
something new. Yeah, exactly.
Watch them win like 3 of the next 6.
That'll do wonders for the podcast, man.
Oh my
You guys
God.
are awesome listening
we'd
to
be
us for 3
feeding
years
families
of mid
with
baseball.
0.
Can you
I
imagine a
guess
world where
what's the,
Pato Lansdowne doesn't run out of gas after Labor Day? Where we actually have something to talk about that's positive and not just, hey, why do we keep fucking farting and shitting in our doo-doo pants? But yeah, that's some thoughts leading into some more thoughts leading into the offseason.
your combined POL record 237 and 249 over the 3 years we've been doing this.
Try to keep. I mean, that could be if we start off with a real hot start next year, we might be able to.
We got to get back to 500. We're 12
yes, babe,
under,
yeah.
but
we start. Okay, so we start 14-2 or something like that. Like, why are they tweeting the 500 meme? And people who are listening at the end of the people who are listening now deserve to.
No.
At the end, if you're listening now at the end of 24, you deserve to be celebrating with us at the end of 25, 26. They'll have an off year in 28. They'll fall in the ALCS. The White Sox's rebuild will be complete by then. But then 29, they're right back, 3 of the 4. Man, I just want to get back there again. I'm watching the Padres fans going bananas. They just went up 3-0. They're having a good time.
Everybody's having a blast in San Diego, man. Yeah, I mean, to echo Sam Kennedy's sentiment that, like, he's sitting there on Monday being like, yeah, yesterday it just kind of felt like we didn't want this to end. Brother, me too. Like, it really did feel like obviously, like, the season.
My brother in Christ, you made the sandwich.
You made the baseball team. But
maybe that should be the picture. Sam Kennedy be like, I don't want my
brother in Christ. Shit, where was I going with that? Yeah, I didn't want it to end, and it didn't feel like the end. Like I said earlier in the program, like, I felt hopeful by the end of the game. So I would hope that sentiment is being felt throughout the organization, and that spurs them. That's a call to action.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. You never know, as a wise man once said.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. That's coming after the break. But before we go to the break, I mean, again, Breslow didn't really say much. Kennedy gave the whole, again, Smithers spiel. Cora's words seemed very genuine to me, the way he was talking. How he
wouldn't have signed that extension. He wouldn't have signed the extension.
Yeah, he's like, I want to be here. I mean, and he mentioned he's also like, I mean, it's a business too. I got to get paid for it, and
he got paid well.
Yeah, enough for him to sign on the dotted line. But when he was saying that, to just the bookend the conversation here, when he said that, I do believe that this is the final struggle. I believe him. I absolutely. When he feels that way, I trust him in that. So I give him credit there. I will not give him credit for something coming up in a hot second. But first,
good tease.
Yeah, exactly. Commercial. We'll be right back. All right, Pato Lansdowne has returned. I can't hold it in any longer. Well, welcome back to the show. Fucking Kenley Jansen.
I wish Jake were here for this one. I really do.
Oh God, I almost want to save this.
The first and foremost, that would be an amazing bit if we held until Jake comes and he'll just explode.
But it will be.
No, it'll be long gone. It'll be long gone by then. I mean,
maybe
it should be over.
So much. And Jake will want to take that victory lap.
Oh, 100%. And we'll let him. But while it's still fresh in the mind,
Fucking do not let the door hit you on the ass on the way out, buddy. See ya. My fucking God. And this is what I alluded to with Cora. A friend of mine said this, and I'm going to steal his point. Sorry, Tyler. If Cora's into managed personalities, then manage the personalities. You know what I mean? If that's and Cora said during that press conference it was a manager's decision to send him home. I still don't. It's just such a. It's a. God, what a fucking asshole. You don't think everybody else in that clubhouse wants to call it a season at that point? You think they're not disappointed by an 81-81 or potentially 80-82 finish?
You saw everybody in the dugout in Toronto when they were officially eliminated post game. Like, plenty of those guys are dejected, want to go home at that point. Like, all you got to do is show up for 3 more games.
Yeah,
you don't have to show up. You don't have to pitch. You don't have to pitch.
If Cora said to you, "Hey, we're not going to throw you," you know what I mean? We're not going to risk you getting hurt if you want to test free agency. That's fine. You know what I mean? If it's a case of something like that, or if you're fatigued or whatever, I don't fucking know. But just show up. Just show up. Be there for the guys that apparently the rumor is that some of the guys he didn't even know their fucking names. He was unsure of his teammates' names. What a fucking asshole. Jake was right all along. All along.
He always is. He always is.
I never want to see the phrase Kenley boys ever again in my life.
No,
I'm revoking my down. Kenley boy status.
Down forever.
No, yeah.
Check, please. The card was declined.
The check bounced. Yeah. Different forms of check, I suppose. You know what I mean? But you catch my drift.
Yeah. What I will say about Kenley is he has every right to have an issue with how his tenure went here. When he signed, he expected to be competing. Then Heim gets fired before his first year is even over. His comments last winter, is basically where he was like, yeah, I guess the mindset changed or the strategy changed. So, I mean, and then obviously we tried to trade him all of last winter, so I'm sure that didn't help. But
all I've heard, it seems he's been fucking twerking for other teams. This past year, if he wanted to get traded, he loved singing the "Oh my God" thing for the fucking Mets when we went to Queens earlier this year. Oh, in LA, it was about championships. They just fucking asked for a trade to LA, dude. You clearly don't want to be here. You clearly don't want to be in Fenway for this last weekend. So, like,
yeah,
God,
no, I mean, it's the optics are terrible. I think it really comes down to, like, yes, bro, I get it. I get how you feel. Like, you came here with a promise that this team would be a legitimate contender, and
we're pissed about that too.
They weren't. Yeah, but get in line.
Yeah, sorry. You're the first ever major leaguer who has been disappointed after signing a contract with how things went. You're the first one who has never had things completely pan out when signing as a free agent. You are the first one, Kenley Jansen.
First one ever. Could you believe it? But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, John Henry doesn't have a locker next to you. Some guy, Mickey Gasper has a locker next to you. Like, show up for him.
Yeah.
A guy that's been in the minors for 7-8 years.
Right.
Like,
show up for the guys catching for you.
You probably don't know his name, but show up for him.
Yeah.
Like, there's 3 games left. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. Just horrible, like awful optics. I know, like, so many people are like, there were people obviously that were like, all right, like, that's fine, let him leave, or defending the decision to leave early.
I would like to think that Cora dismissed him to be like, well, you know what, like, now we don't want you in here. Yeah,
it's just like, just do it, like, because then at that point,
SpongeBob crying about Mystery going, just get out of here, you stupid dumb animal.
But no, I 100% believe that's how it went down. Like, Kenley was just bitching and moaning, didn't want to pitch. Oh, like I'm tired. Like, by the time we got to Queens, he was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pitch again this year. Okay, cool, man. Like, I do think it got to a point where Cora gave him an inning. He gave him the 9th in the first game of that doubleheader. Who the fuck were we playing that weekend? Was that still the White Sox? Doesn't matter. There was a
Yeah.
doubleheader of the 2 Sundays before the final Sunday. He gave him an inning, and that was it.
Rays. No,
because
that wasn't
the Rays were the
That was
final weekend.
Yeah. What the fuck am I thinking of?
Who the fuck were we playing? I don't know. It all blends together.
Maybe it was the Twins. I don't know. The season's over.
Oh, it was the Twins. It was the Twins, right? Yeah,
No, the Twins was the weekend before, not 2 weekends before. They were on the road 2 weekends before the final weekend.
No. So then I just meant.
I don't. Again, the season's done. We don't.
It doesn't matter. Yes, it was the Twins because we swept the doubleheader. He got the 9th inning in game 1, and you never saw him again. So I think it was basically he was just like, I don't know, I'm feeling run down. He, like Devers, I feel like has had a nagging injury all year. So like whatever, man.
Yeah, short of
just
it being
go somewhere else and climb the all-time saves list. Yeah, like I was praising him a week ago on the program. I was like, he provided so much stability at the back end the past 2 years. Like I would happily bring him back. Like no, I'm bring Chris Martin back. That's an easy decision.
Yeah, the second the going gets tough a little bit once they're eliminated, everyone else showed up.
Yeah.
Everyone else was
DHing in the final game of the season, man, trying to get his first career hit. Like, you don't think he wanted to go home?
Yeah. Short of it being like a fucking family emergency or like a health scare.
Clearly it wasn't fucking Wednesday night in Toronto. As soon as they got eliminated, on his Instagram stories, having like a fucking cookout or something.
In a fucking spread.
It was like the final out was made. I go to Instagram, check the story. It was like 4 minutes ago. Kenley, he's firing up the fajitas or something.
Funeral food would be so good. I'd be forgetting who the fuck died.
Basically. And then obviously hilarious after the fact. What was it? Was it Saturday or Sunday that this really blew up? And then he like tossed on his Instagram story, like, vote for my teammates, all MLB, whatever.
See, I'm a good teammate.
Thanks, man. Yeah, great.
Location,
great
Cancun.
Yeah, great recovery.
Sandals Resort, Cancun or something.
No, I don't know. I'm done with him. That's a terrible.
Yeah, I'm
look.
all set.
That's not somebody you want in the clubhouse with. Obviously, an extremely young team right now that doesn't set.
Yeah, that's the example being set. Yeah, I don't know how it fucking spun out of control there to get to the point where he doesn't show up for the final weekend. And again, I probably sound like a wicked boomer right now. That's probably a fair enough of a take, but. You can't.
No, but I think this is a very legitimate gripe because it's like show up for the guys that are in uniform with you every day. I don't like. I totally understand your gripes with ownership, the front office, or whatever, but dude, your teammates have nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
you've been with them all year. You've been with them for 6-7 months at this point. What's another 4 or 5 days? Like
Kenley Jansen, the king of the Irish goodbye.
Fuck him, as Jake would say.
I guess now I got to think if it's an Irish goodbye, maybe I got to give him a little bit more respect. Maybe I got to
What if he took his own nameplate off the locker? It's like, I'll see you guys. Cora showed up to the clubhouse like Ben Affleck at the end of Good Will Hunting. He's gone.
Now that I think about it, to compare it to another piece of media, did Kenley Jansen dentist system us?
Hold on, I gotta pull up the.
He demonstrated value.
Yes,
engaged physically, I suppose.
Nurturing dependence, neglect emotionally, inspire hope, separate entirely. Yeah, because I would say when he came in the 9th inning, when we were sweeping the doubleheader against the Twins, it's like,
he inspired hope.
Kenley's healthy. He's back.
Inspire hope for the final push and then separate. I fucking cooked there. Wow. Neglect emotionally when he's talking about, well, LA, like they it's about championships there. Nurture dependence. The bullpen's kind of been shaky, so you rely on him. Kenley Jansen dentist system does. The Kenley system.
He 100% did.
That's the name of the episode.
That's a great cast. I'll tell you what, that one will be even funnier when he's closing games for the Phillies next year.
Oh yeah. The Phillies fans can have that one for free.
Yeah, that one's on us, guys.
Man. So that's the picture. Instead of the Subway one with Sam Kennedy, it's just the dentist
Yeah,
system.
we could do them all. We'll do them all.
PL out of context, you can do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We can do a bunch. Oppenheimer, the whole gamut.
We got to get back on the out of context tweets.
Yeah, I feel like that does feel like a good off-season activity.
When Jake's back in, we'll do that. We'll do that. So the fucking Kenley system. So that's about all I had for Red Sox related things, though. Got a long fucking winter ahead of us.
God, it goes by so fast. I feel like I was just with Jake and Santi and Johnny in Seattle, man. Now it's
right?
over. Now it's over. It's gone.
And now it's all over. The last game I went to, I didn't think it was going to be the last one of the year. I just wasn't able to make it back, you know. So I do miss on the fucking drive back home from my office Monday. I went to switch on the radio to EEI, and I was like, I went, oh, they're not playing right now because their season's over. They don't play baseball for a few months. So.
Yeah, I mean, last night, Monday night, I was like, what am I supposed to do with myself? I watched The Social Network, which was fun.
Bang!
Yeah. Great movie. Great film. And then I woke up this morning, and apparently it's the 14th anniversary of it being released. So
Happy
that was
birthday,
fun too.
Social Network.
Yeah. What a film. Great film.
Picture. He's dialed in, right? He's dialed in.
Yeah.
Mark? Mark? Eric Albright is a bitch.
Oh, you know what we should talk about? I mean, I don't know if you caught any of it, but it was nice to be there Sunday for the Castiglione ceremony pregame. Like that was a beautiful send off. It was awesome.
I genuinely shed a tear listening to his final kind of send off there.
Oh yeah, I mean the fact that he does that every year at the end is very nice.
Paul Giamatti's dad.
Yeah. Yeah, that one got me to well up when I got back to the apartment and actually watched it.
And then hearing Fleming kind of getting choked.
Oh my God, yeah. The fact that they didn't cut that off the clip on social media was crazy because it was just you heard Will start to choke up and then the clip was over.
Yeah, then the algorithm shows you skibbity toilet from the internet. Right, yeah.
But no, the pregame ceremony was awesome. It felt like a family reunion. You saw all these guys come out like Clemens. Clemens got a huge ovation, by the way. And this can be an off-season topic, but what the hell are we waiting for? We got to retire it, man. Retire 21. I've been on this bandwagon for years. No one's worn it. It's unofficial, but it's time. The fact that the Giants and Pirates have both retired Barry Bonds' number now,
yeah,
who cares?
It's crazy because. Not to cut you off.
I also think the league will just retire 21 at some point anyway for Clemente.
Yeah, because they already have.
So I don't know. I don't know if
So
I don't know if the Red Sox are just kind of waiting. They could be they're going to retire it for Clemente anyway. Now we'll do the Rocket. It's well past due. He got obviously after Jackie, Clemens got the biggest ovation out of anybody that showed up, which was nuts. It was Clemens, JBJ, and Pedro. Those were the big
Joe
three.
Loves the Rocket. Joe loves
Oh my God.
Rocket.
Yeah. It was so cool to see them all together. And obviously Keith Volk was out there.
Folky.
God, who else? Yeah, it was an awesome scene. And the fact that Jackie came out when they were and now representing the 2018 Boston Red Sox, I was who could they actually bring out? I was everybody's still, for the most part, active. So I'm racking my brain. And then they said Jackie.
Maybe?
And
Price?
yeah, then they brought out Jackie. I legitimately gasped. I felt like I was I felt like one of the Beatles girls. I was fawning over Jackie Bradley.
Jackie Mania.
Yeah. JBJ Mania.
He counts off the band. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Legitimately, I was holy shit! I was kind of starstruck. I didn't expect that. I didn't realize how much I missed him. But I missed Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yeah.
badly.
Did you hear why Joe wanted Jackie to catch the first pitch?
Because he catches everything.
Because Jackie catches everything.
Yeah, that was so funny when he said that.
That was awesome to see.
was a
quickly
special
going
day.
back to the Clemens retirement number retirement thing. I mean, there's plenty of people still kicking, still watching the team that watched Clemens when he was in his heyday. But for a lot of people, obviously, we never really watched.
No, I grew up. He was a Yankee, man.
Yeah,
When I was a
exactly.
kid,
Right.
that's a
I
Yankee.
mean, I was born January '96. I never really watched Clemens because I was I couldn't really watch anything. I don't, or if I did, I don't fucking remember because again, toddler and whatnot. But Jesus, like Nomar was my first favorite player. They gave number 5 a couple of years to breathe, but then they have given out
Oh my
5.
God, they've given
like,
it.
like
They
nothing.
hand 5 out like it's candy, man. It's
They
nuts.
gave, and then they gave 50 out right away.
right away,
Luke.
right to Cutter,
Right to
man.
Cutter. Rip the Band-Aid right off. You know? And I'd say Mookie's departure was probably like the most, I don't know what phrase you want, controversial, like notable departure since at the very least like the Nomar trade. Like that was a watershed. Where were you when Red Sox moment when Nomar was traded? I remember exactly what I was doing.
My dad tells the story. When they did it, he looked to my mom and he said, "They're never winning it." He was like, "They're never winning it."
My dad, I was at a pool party at my cousin's house, and I'd kind of heard some, like, my dad had EI on, driving me anywhere, you know what I mean? So I'd already heard the rumors, like, oh, he's going to stay, he's going to go. My dad got a call from his brother, and I'm having the time of my life in the pool, and my dad calls me over and goes, hey, I look, and he doesn't even say his name, he just nods his head and goes, he's gone. And I knew exactly what it meant. Bawled my eyes.
They got him.
Bawled my eyes out. No, you can't trade Nomar. But for fans of a certain age, the departure of Roger was a huge deal. And it led to a lot of animosity, even if it was just Toronto. And then, of course, with the Yankees, those postseason series, knocking them out of that playoff game where people are chanting, "Where's Roger?" in the showers. But
Special. Oh my God. Bring me late 90s Fenway. I want it so bad.
Right? There is a certain je ne sais quoi. You see some of the old footage and pictures and whatnot. It's just, I love Fenway the way it is now, but it will never be that. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be like that same completely.
It's a living museum.
Sort of
it's a living museum.
And when they're in big games, I mean, shit, you got kids doing shoeies out in the outfield.
I mean, hell, man, we still felt
year.
that way. Like in 21, the wild card game, everybody's chanting Garrett.
They weren't bringing puppets of Kermit to behind. It's a different age, and that's okay. Yeah. They weren't bringing.
But when we're good, man, when we're good, we
Kermit
still get rowdy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it evolves over time, but the base of that is still the same. But and you know what? Shout out to Joe Costake for seeing so many years of that.
Oh my God!
Up in the
Or
sky.
two. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
So you want to hear the? I pulled up everybody that's worn 5 since Nomar.
Can I see how many I can guess?
So there's 9. There's 9 total.
Okay, let me see how many I can guess.
Okay.
Rocco Baldelli.
Yep.
Nick Punto.
Yep.
Sue Lin.
Yep.
Grissom's 5, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he only played like 2 games this year. Johnny Gomes.
Yes.
Alan Craig.
More. Yes. Good.
I
was hoping you'd get that.
Alan Craig. Sandy Leon was 3. No one on the 18 team, right? Well, I guess besides Zue. Did Zue have some moments on 18? Like just calling up as he wasn't?
Fun fact, he did not wear it in 18. He wore it in 17 and 19.
Okay, so no, it was on the kind of
no, but there was someone on the 18 team that wore 5.
Ian Kinsler.
Yeah,
Ian
Ian
Kinsler.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm down to 2. Are they 2 tough ones, or are they 2 like if I'm gonna hear it, I'm gonna scream?
One you'll be like, wow, how did I not get that? And then the other one's actually kind of like, wow, totally forgot he was even on the team.
Huh.
And they're recent too, within the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's one of those things you drop blank for a hot second.
But you're right. I mean, they gave 5 years to breathe. Like Rocco was the first one to get it in 2009 after Nomar.
Not Marwin, right? Not Marwin.
Nope. Ooh, come on. You could do this.
I'm sure I can. Fucking tied. 7 so far is pretty good. Someone is screaming behind the wheel of their car right now. Someone is
100%.
screaming.
Come on, Vince. Come on. You're gonna be kicking yourself. You're gonna be kicking yourself for
just
one
to
of
keep
these.
the show flowing. What is it?
Kike.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Kike,
Yeah.
of course.
And then the last one.
How do I get fucking Alan
How do you
Craig,
get Alan Craig and Ian Kinsler?
but not Kike? Jesus,
And
man.
then, last but not least, a legend, a Red Sox legend. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten his red jacket yet. Kevin Pillar, 2020.
I wouldn't have gone Pilar. I wouldn't have gotten that one.
That
I'm
one's
disappointed
insane.
in myself for not getting Kike. I think 7
Yeah,
out of 9 is
Kike.
solid, but I'm disappointed to not get Kike. No chance I would have remembered Kevin Pillar.
No, and that's fair.
That's
The
COVID
fact-
memory hole.
Yeah, like the fact that Zhu Wei was like, as soon as Kinsler left, he's like, I want 5 back, is hilarious.
Deal. There you go. So, shout out number 5. So, all right, is that all? Yeah, I got fucking Nick Punto. Nailed that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would have said he wore 3, but I think I'm getting him mixed up with like Mike McDonald. A 2013 legend.
Yeah. So apologies for anyone who just blew out their vocal cords screaming at me. Kike Hernandez.
No, my apologies.
Enrique Hernandez.
My apologies. It's John McDonald. Sorry,
So
everyone.
there you go. Right. Yeah.
His memorable 6 games.
What did you say, Mike McDonald?
Yeah, I said Mike McDonald.
Michael McDonald, like the singer from the Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
What a fool believes.
What the hell did? Oh, he wore number 10. He didn't even wear 3. I don't know what's happening anymore. Yeah, that's a good. That's a fun.
Real love.
We should do a draft of obscure Red Sox players this winter.
The all Fitsimo
We could
Pena
do
display name team.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could each draft the team. Or
That
we
could be
do
good for
the-
like a.
We could do like the ultimate POL obscure Red Sox team.
We could, if we have a guest on, that could be a good way to incorporate a guest.
Yes, I like that.
We all said a ground rule. Ground rule number 1: Willie Pena is just off limits. He's the commissioner of this league.
He's the manager.
Yes, Willie Pena is the skipper.
Willie
He's
Mo's in the
calling-
dugout. Yeah.
He's calling the shots. But no, that's actually great. You know what? What do? I always put it in the off-season episodes idea. Well, now that it's the off-season, before we get to Song of the Week and whatnot, emoji of the week, by the way, the emoji number 5.
Oh, good
You know,
one.
like that
Good
blue
one.
square that has all the numbers. Number 5. All-time obscure Red Sox draft. Okay, so POL off-season episode ideas, just as a refresher. Now that we are in the off-season, the all-time obscure draft, like we just said, the Pana Lansdowne Movie Club, if that rings a bell, it's pretty good.
Oh
The
yeah.
idea of signing Bregman and moving Raft to DH? Question mark. How to fix the All-Star Game voting? Parentheses, all caps. It stinks. The deep dive into the 2012 Red Sox. An
That'd be
episode
a fun one.
dedicated to the lore of Smiling Friends. Fix the playoff structure. Parentheses, bring back wild card game.
I will say, earlier today, I had the thought. I was like, I wish someone was going home today. I want someone going home on day 1 of the playoffs. It was special. We got to bring it back.
One and done. And then I go, something in regards to theme parks. Do a full Walt Disney World episode when it's slow, question mark. He said, I think it's funny and informative, especially if the hot stove is not hot. There you go.
That is very possible.
That's the episode if like you're out of town traveling for something.
Yeah,
you know
and
I mean?
you and Jake can
That's
rip
Jake
Jason.
and I. We're talking about the Utilidors at Magic Kingdom and shit.
Yeah.
I thought about this the other day. There's a triangle, like a Pot on Lansdowne triangle. Me, you, and Jake on each of the three. And the rays, like the sides of the shape, connect two of the co-hosts together, but obviously the third one is left out. The ray between you and I is soccer. The ray between Jake and I is probably the mouse adjacent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you and Jake are just obscure TikTok references.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what. Yeah, I would wonder. I wonder what he would say. It is. It's a little bit
similar to like that Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Like the Father is not the Son. The Father is not the Holy Spirit. You know, but it all goes into the. And the one in the middle for us is, just El Guapo or something like that.
Yes. You sound like that reminded me of the clip of Kamala where she's like, Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams.
There's your fourth out of context, right?
Yep.
Right. So yeah, no, it will be a good off season that we have. So, song of the week, Christy. Time to put it back to work.
Have we gotten an update in the past couple of weeks? Actually, I don't know if she's been.
I think she did.
Okay.
I thought she did.
I'll check in on that tomorrow once the episode goes up.
Last week I was Wherever by Shakira. Maybe she didn't upload that, but I think the week before she definitely got. This is bad radio right now. No, she updated it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Jake is owed 2 extra ones if he comes back next week.
Yes.
So he would be at 3. We got to keep tabs of that. And Christy, don't forget us on that. Do you have a song of the week? Because I just thought of my song of the week 2 minutes ago when we were riffing about a singer.
Oh, I've been thinking about mine all day.
Let's hear it.
Stuck in the Middle with You.
Oh, that's what's the name of the band? Hold on. It rhymes, doesn't it?
Sort of.
I forget the name. What is it?
Steelers Wheel.
Steelers Wheel. That's right. Yes.
Because folks, we did it. Pure mid. They said it wasn't possible. Right in the middle. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Their longest winning streak of the season was 5. Their longest losing streak of the season was 5. And their run differential by the end was +4. Their expected win-loss, 81-81.
Clowns
what
to
else
the
can
left
you
of
say?
us. Parentheses, the Yankees and Orioles. Jokers to the right. Parentheses, the Toronto Blue Jays. Here I am, stuck in the middle and third with you, Tampa.
Yeah, I feel I couldn't sum it up any better myself. So I'll let Steelers Wheel take it away. What you got?
Peg by Steely Dan, because Michael McDonald sings background. He does the Peg, it will come back to the
Red Sox legend Mike McDonald.
Yeah.
Give a warm Fenway welcome.
Stealing the Family Guy bit when Peter hires Michael McDonald to sing everything that everyone else says. Could you imagine Michael McDonald doing the PA at Fenway? Now batting for the Red Sox, number 16, Jaron Duran playing center field.
I would like that, actually. Right. That could work.
His name is Rafael Devers. He plays third base, number 11, batting clean up.
I will say my final note on the season. We got to get Mickey that hit, man. Put him in the opening day lineup. Put him in the opening day lineup already. We got to get it. We got to get it.
What's the record for the most amount of 110 mile an hour barreled balls without registering a hit? Because Mickey's got to be close if he doesn't have it.
Out of control. By the end of the game on Sunday, there were fans like chanting his name. They were like, "Let's go, Mickey!" I felt terrible for him. He walked like twice. He's an on-base machine. You just can't find that hit. You just can't find it.
Hits it at 140 miles an hour directly to where the center fielder is standing, just on a line.
I don't know. They got the spray chart on them. They got the documents.
You got the documents right there to prove it. So, it's Jake Cronenworth is up. The Crone Zone. Is that all you got?
That's all I got. What about
80
you?
80 minutes on a team that is not playing baseball right now? That's pretty good.
Yeah, we're good for it. I feel like we're in a good place. I feel like we're consistently 80-ish minutes.
80, 90 minutes, yeah. We'll be there. So, but that's all I got. So if that's all you got, then that's all we, as a group, got. Again, just to reiterate before we sign off, first of all, a big thank you to everyone who listens, follows along on Twitter and whatnot, just shoots the shit with us. If you've ever told a friend about the show, referred us, referenced some stupid shit that we said, we appreciate that to the bottom of our hearts. It's been a tough year outside of baseball. It's been a disappointing year in baseball, but it has been a tough year definitely for myself, and I think Jake, I don't want to speak for him, but he's going through a tough time now. So, and again, not to speak for Liam here, Liam's year has been swimming league. But,
nothing's wrong over
not
here,
a single
guys.
bad thing. No.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Fennessys.
Nothing ever bad happens to the Kennedys. But in all seriousness, genuinely, I don't take for granted the opportunity to just sit here and shoot the shit about my favorite team in the world with you guys, and the fact that we've got a fair amount of people listening, even if it was just 5 people listening, one person watching on YouTube right now. We appreciate whoever that is, but no matter who it is, the fact that we've got this consistently going, I don't take that for granted, and I don't take people who follow along with us for granted, and I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you guys for another fun. I'm not going to call it a great year for the Red Sox, but it was a great year for the pod and great year shooting the shit with you guys. Shared a few laughs.
It was who had that Clippers meeting where there was that tweet where there was like emotions were high, but a lesson was learned at the end.
I don't remember that one, but
I don't know. Like Steve Ballmer was crying in the meeting or something. I don't know. I'll pull it up, but I'll echo your sentiments, Fitz. The fact that we have like a real community here and online, I don't take that for granted. Kind of blows my mind that we've been doing this for 3 years already. It feels
it's crazy,
like it's
right?
By. So, and I think better days are ahead. So for the program, for the team. So
who was that crazy
we love you.
lady?
We love the perverts. We love
our perverts. We always will love the perverts. And to quote, I forget the lady's name, the brunette from the GOP convention in 2020, when she goes, "The best is yet to come."
yes.
Which means we're going to lose even more games, but
we're losing 100 games next year.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what that means. So, but if we lose 100 games, we'll have the fellow perverts.
We'll have fun doing it.
Exactly. When the band plays "Nearer My God to Thee" at this time next year, at least we're gonna have some fun doing it. So, but that'll do it for this edition of Pod on Lansdowne. Just like that, one episode down in the off season. We're one episode closer to having regular season ball back.
Feels like it's a lifetime away.
That's right, and that's why we have football, right? So. And my fantasy teams are doing okay, so I got that going for me, which was nice. But I'm not.
All right. Wrap it up.
Furiously on wood.
Wrap it up, buddy.
For Jake, for Liam, I'm Fitz. You're you. We'll talk to you next week. Until then, go Sox and obey your mother.
Go Sox. We love our perverts and obey your mother.